We have not talked about vitamin D for quite a while, and it's time that we do. We're in the middle of the winter in North Dakota. We don't get much sunshine, and vitamin D is considered the sunshine vitamin. It's produced by the skin, mostly in response to sunshine exposure, and it's one of the most important nutrients for our overall health. Yet many of us don't get enough. In fact, it's thought that, especially in our demographics and our where we live, about 50 to 60% of the population do not get enough vitamin D. So how do we get that? That's through diet. There's some foods, things like fatty fish, some of the other nutrients that we get fortified, fortified cereals, fortified milks will give you some vitamin D. But really, for the most part, especially as we get to be a little bit older, I think we need to supplement our vitamin D. And that's what we're going to talk about. So what are some of the things that the lack of vitamin D can cause? Fatigue, tiredness, muscle aches, slow wound healing. There's some hair loss thought to be associated with the lack of vitamin D. But most importantly is being more prone to an infection, colds and flus. We are in a really, really tough Influenza A. Talked to a school teacher the other day about how much strep is going around in the schools. It's really important, I think, that from everybody in the family that's exposed to this, that we understand what their vitamin D needs are. So there's many different forms of vitamin Ds. We have liquids, we have chewables. Most of them are oil-filled capsules. Dosing. What do we do about dosing? It is so important that we know what our vitamin D level is. If at any point you see a physician and they do some lab work, please ask them to check your vitamin D levels, because then we can dose it appropriately. And in follow-up care, so if somebody brings me a vitamin D level and I say, oh, you should do 2,000 units a day for 3-4 months, get it checked again, we can see if that dosing is appropriate. So there's ranges. Too much vitamin D is not good, but I can guarantee you, in my years of experience and from where we live, it's pretty hard to get too much in this part of the world. So again, vitamin D, it's very, very important. You need to check with us, and our staff here at Dakota Pharmacy will guide you the best we can to make sure your vitamin D is adequate.